You'll notice I haven't done a huge amount of walking on the last couple of videos. Primarily that's because it's just so hot here that wherever I go, it's surrounded by traffic, first of all, being in the middle of the city. And secondly, after about 2 minutes, I'm sweating all over. So trying to find stationary places in the shade, which is also proving to be very difficult. Today I'm in the grounds of a nice Buddhist temple by the side of the hospital, which is very convenient, and I may come here again. It's funny the things you take for granted when you don't have them anymore. Cool weather being one of them. And for those of you who live in climates which are considerably hotter than the UK and southern parts of America, then, well, I sympathise. And I've been thinking a lot over the last couple of days about just counting my blessings, taking stock of the things that I have and just giving a moment to appreciate them, whether they're with me or not. And that includes people as well. You know, I haven't seen my dad for 7 years, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to be out here for, but I'm also not sure when or if I'm going to return. And so that's, you know, that's at the back of my mind somewhere. And there's a lot of things falling into perspective on top of the cultural adjustments and the climate adjustments and all of the other things, and being bitten by 1,000 mosquitoes as well. But overall, I'm finding there is a great invitation here for surrender. There is a great invitation here for me to recognize how much of a desire for control I still have, and that I want to have a plan. I want to know when I'm coming home, or where my money's coming from, or if my dad's going to be okay. And I don't know the answer to any of those questions and more. But at the same time, I also have this sense of trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should be. And I can't say how, but I just have. And I've been leaning into that a lot over the last few years, and it's been a big lesson for me. And trust is not something I've been particularly good at, and I've spoken about on other videos. And really, trust is the absence of desire for control. We just allow things to unfold as they do. We don't attribute a story to them that says this shouldn't be happening or something else should be happening. And we observe the emotional responses that happen in those moments when things do occur that aren't expected. And we allow them to pass, as everything does. Something I've been doing for the last few months is I have not really a journal so much as a notepad, but I keep a daily reflection of things I've done that I've either learned from, grown from, that have invited me to do something different, that have shown me a new perspective. And so I'm constantly orienting myself towards the opportunities that have been presented for growth. And the more I do that, the more I'm noticing that when uncomfortable moments occur, that rather than trying to get myself out of them and wriggle out of them as we often do, I'm able to just sit with that and recognize that there's something in me that has an opposition to that situation. And I'm finding that that's happening a lot here. And for me, it's not in the form of gratitude, writing gratitude or anything like that. It feels a bit contrived for me, if I'm honest. It's more a case of just saying, well, today I explored an unfamiliar area. Today I reflected on the importance of close family and friends. Today I give thanks for air conditioning and mosquito repellent and sunglasses and frequent changes of clothes, cold showers. It can be anything, simple or complicated. But the more I orient myself towards those things, the more my mind, in moments when it's challenged, doesn't automatically go to the worst case scenario, and I don't start thinking, or I don't find thoughts arising which say, I need to get out of this, there's something wrong here, this needs to be fixed, what's going to happen if this goes wrong? I can just sit there and observe it. And I find myself in that place often, as I mentioned. This part of Thailand, which is called Pattaya, is well known for a certain demographic, let's say, of people coming in to visit and for specific purposes, and everyone is free to make their own choices. And I also observe that those same people carry with them their own, let's say, emotional baggage, and many of them express that towards others in the local area. And I find myself in positions where I could say something, or I could have a response to that, but often it's of no value, because in that moment I wouldn't be honoring that person's perspective, and I wouldn't be exercising compassion towards someone who may be seeing life through the lens of pain or through the lens of discomfort. Not to say that everybody is, but I recognize that there is a lot of that here, and I think it's acknowledged. And that doesn't mean that actions which are harmful will go unnoticed. It just means that I recognize that there are so many people in the world who don't give time to appreciate the things that they have. They don't take a moment to take stock of where they are in life and to just give thanks. And there's no need to be of any religious or spiritual background to do that. But so many of us don't, and we only reflect on that or look at that in hindsight. When we get sick, we think, oh, I wish I was well, I never took that health I had for granted. Or when we lose someone we care about, we say, oh, I wish I'd told that person I loved them more. And that's very close to me at the moment. And it's the everyday simple things which are there all of the time that we become complacent to, and they just sort of fade into the background, and then all of a sudden when they're not there anymore, we realize actually how meaningful they are, how valuable they are to us. So wherever you happen to be, if you're surrounded by things you're just taking for granted, just take a moment to pause and notice. Even things like the sounds of the birds, you don't hear that when you're in an office block or a hospital. Or the sound of running water, or feeling of the breeze, or the touch of a loved one, or even a touch that's intended with love towards ourselves. And these moments of appreciation and the moments of reflection can start to build and grow and extend outwards into our lives. And so when things happen that aren't planned, we don't suddenly lose our perspective and just pick up that familiar story that says life is hard and I'm destined for suffering, because that's not true. So I shall endeavour to find somewhere to walk on the next video. How successful I will be remains to be seen. But if you stay with me this far, I appreciate it. And as always, thank you for watching, and I wish you well.